once they approve you for options, whatever kind of account, whether it's margin or cash account, you're eventually going to be able to open up, you're going to be able to download Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim used to be owned by TD Ameritrade. It's now owned by Schwab. Schwab is a terrible bank, but at least I have to give them props. They have been able to uphold the value that Thinkorswim has been providing for decades. But over here is when you open the whole, the new Schwab account and you download Thinkorswim on desktop, when you open up Thinkorswim, this is what you first see. It's a lot to digest at first, but it's actually fairly simple. In fact, I don't even use this screen. This screen to me is completely useless because I don't actually do a lot of my tracking on the desktop version. I do a lot of my tracking of positions on my phone because I feel like it's just a lot easier to use. So this whole video, this whole session is me talking about how I use Thinkorswim and the important things and important tools you guys can utilize on here. So when you come to the desktop version, again, it's a lot, but just ignore everything except for the parts I point out. So first of all, on the left-hand side, as you can see on my cursor, this over here tells the basic stuff about your account. This again is the 260K long-term account that I've been telling you guys about, the challenge I've been doing, which I opened up in the beginning of the year. So I don't mind sharing this account because I've been public about it. So you can see here, it will show a few statistics like the option buying power. If you were to liquidate all the positions, whether it's option or shares, how much the value would be. How many day trades you have left. Of course, if you have a margin account, that's pretty important if you're below 25K. And cash and sweep, yada, 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 available funds for trading, which is basically almost the same thing as option buying power unless you do a recent, transaction into Thinkorswim. The rest of the stuff here on the left-hand side is mostly for, some people find it useful, some people won't. I personally don't look at the live news, but that's just because I don't look at news that much. But if you're a news guy, I mean, this thing is perfect. You can literally press the, three icons over here, detach it. You could have it in another window. This is like live news that'll always come out. You could click on it, and usually it's supposed to like bring up more information on the down over here. So the second news comes out, this will be one of the first places where you'll get it, right? So it's a pretty nice, cool icon to have over here on the left hand side. You can also got Schwab Network, which is basically like them like CNBC, kind of like talking about what's going on. On the bottom over here, you can have your watch list, and you also got a quick chart for whatever chart you want to put up. Me personally, again, I use mobile for tracking and everything like that. I use Twitter for news. So I don't really look at this part. This is not really that important for me. So you could see this arrow over here. You could click that and you could hide all of that. Now on the top, you have the quick important statistics you need to know, like the option buying power, because of course we mainly trade options here and shares. Over here with his account, you could click this drawdown, and if you have multiple accounts, like let's say one cash account, one margin account, another margin account for something else, you could click the drop down and you will see the different accounts you can have, and you can easily switch through all of them without changing the layout that you have. On the top over here, you have a home screen. If you click that, it will bring you to this screen over here, which will show you different information like how long the the stock exchange will close, how long till it will open again, if you have any orders that are working, right, which means it's open and it's not filled yet, what are filled, what are canceled. Obviously your P&L open. Again, don't worry about this. This is a long-term account, so it's unrealized losses. Schwab Network, which I don't usually pay attention to. And you could also bring up, this is the cool part, you could bring up the heat map for different sectors, right? If you have a personal watch list, you could bring up a watch list from that. You can bring up like, how have the stocks that do like to have 24-hour trading on Schwab, on Thinkorswim, which again, Thinkorswim is one of the only few platforms that allows you to trade shares for 24 hours. It will show you the heat map for it. Again, you could kind of find this on TradingView. Thinkorswim does give a few more options, but that's something you can look at. On the right hand side here, this, I never pay attention to this. This is just, I guess, the updates for the platform. And as you can see, the latest version, whatever. They don't frequently update Thinkorswim. They just do like little minor fixes here and there. The look has been pretty same. Versus their mobile app has gotten a lot of updates. It looks a lot more modern than their desktop platform. So don't worry. If this looks old to you and outdated, the mobile platform. You can literally just trade just off of that and you'll be fine. And it's a lot more modern looking. The cool thing on the right hand side is you see all the economic events that are coming and also the earnings that are coming up. There's a whole calendar thing that you could pull up, but again, it's a lot easier to view on your phone, so we're not going to get deep into it. You're going to see here on the top left hand side, not fully on the top, but over here, actually on the top over here, always make sure that it says connected and real-time data. When you first download Thinkorswim, if you do not at least have $50 in the account, you will have delayed data. That's the cool thing though. You can access all of these tools on Thinkorswim and not even have to use Thinkorswim for trading. And all you need is just $50 in the account, which at any point, once the cash settles, you can withdraw. That to me is an amazing deal. Again, if you don't like trading Thinkorswim, but you want to use the tools on here, you have no excuse to not at least put $50. And I'm not sponsored by Thinkorswim. They don't have affiliate links like that. So you could literally put $50 in here, have access to all the live data and all the tools, and you don't even need to trade on it. That's freaking amazing, right? This is a platform where if it didn't have this platform, you could theoretically, they could be charging $300 per month because of how many tools there are on this amazing platform. But instead of me just splurging all over complimenting it, let me move on. You'll see right below all these statistics, there's a few tabs that are the important parts. You have monitor, which tracks your current positions, trade, which lets you see like the option chain, analyze, which kind of lets you analyze. So like an option calculator, that's basically an analyzing thing. It helps you with naked options, or even if you do credit spreads, iron condors, any complex option strategy. This literally shows you like where you'd be in profit, where you'd be losing money. Scan, which is one of the most powerful scanning tools I've ever seen any platform ever have, that scans not only options, not only stocks, but options as well. And not only just option, but freaking spreads. Freaking spreads. What freaking platform does that? Moving on, Market Watch, which that has to do with like the heat map and everything. Charts, pretty straightforward. Tools, I've not really used this as much, but there's if you're a coder, you can make indicators on Thinkorswim. They have and even if you're not, you can use ChatGPT to help you code something. They use a coding language called ThinkScript. Really cool stuff. Education, don't really use it, but there's really great resources on here. They have, like if you go to education tab, they'll show you a bunch of stuff, but I'm too lazy to go through that. Obviously, help section, pretty straightforward. So let's move over to monitor. When you see this, there's a lot to take in, and I'm not going to go deep into this because I'll be completely blunt with you. I don't use this tab because, again, for me to monitor my positions, I am personally going on my phone, which is a lot more updated and modern, and viewing this stuff in a much more easier way to look at, because I have a lot of accounts to manage and I don't have time to sit through this and like be like, okay, Ava is up how much? Oh, it's up 2%. I don't have time for that, right? But the monitor tab basically shows you your positions, their current standing, like whether they're in profit. If you see the numbers in parentheses, that means they're a unrealized loss position. If you see them with no parentheses, that means that it's in profit. Again, I think it's much easier to view this part on your phone, so we're just going to completely skip this part. This here is a trade section. Before I reach the trade section, I'm actually going to skip all the way to the charts. This is the charts, and we'll go back to trade. I always thought Thinkorswim charts were so clean and so majestic because there's so much you could do with this that you don't even need TradingView. And this is why, like me personally, before I started using Discord and posting on Discord for years now, I use TradingView. I use Thinkorswim. Only reason I use TradingView is because people were saying, oh, I'm not used to seeing these charts. Can you please go back to TradingView? So, because people crying, I had to go back to TradingView. But if I had a choice, I have no reason to use anything else but Thinkorswim. I could literally not pay $270 a year for a charting platform when I could get the same thing and more on Thinkorswim for $50 forever. So the charting thing on here is amazing. Almost any single almost any single indicator you see on TradingView, if it's not already on here, there's probably somebody on YouTube who's coded an indicator similar to it, or you can use ChatGPT to kind of code something that works with it, works for you. And it's so easy to use this. I cannot stress this enough. It is so easy to use this. You can even, not only can you trade shares, options, on Thinkorswim, you can also trade futures. So if we go, since the futures market is open, if we go and type in /ES, which brings up the ES mini futures, you could see right here, we could trade it right now. You know, if I go to the 5-minute, you'll see it'll show me the live price of futures. I'm pretty sure. I think I have, yeah, it's the live price, as you can see it moving here. So you can actually trade futures on Thinkorswim. Yes, it does require a big margin account, and you can again ask the people at Charles Schwab or Thinkorswim customer service to get more info. But it's freaking amazing, right? Thinkorswim had all this stuff before Webull and Robinhood started implementing all these things. But remember, Thinkorswim has one thing above all of them, and it's the superior full time. Anyway, back to the chart section. I'm not going to go too deep into this because unfortunately I know a lot of people here won't end up using the Thinkorswim charts and they'll end up using TradingView, and I don't blame you. I get it. Some people don't like how, old this might look, but you can customize it to make it look a lot more modern. You can see here, I have different styles. When I show this, you're going to make fun of me. This is a style I used to freaking use when I was younger. I used to use the the bar charts, and I used to use cotton candy theme. I don't know why. I don't even have a sweet tooth, but you could change it. You can make it look a lot more modern. You can make it look a lot more older, a lot more simpler, whatever you want. This is the template I personally used, and you could add the studies is the indicator part, right? So you can add anything on here. You can make your own. You could create. You can import one off online. The thing that sucks about TradingView is if you want to create your own indicator, you have to freaking pay an additional amount. I don't know what it is, but it's an insane amount. That kind of sucks. Like if you want to create something, it's like you're kind of held back. So here on TradingView, not TradingView, Thinkorswim, you can create your own indicator. You just press create. Look at this. You could literally ask ChatGPT, hey, make this. I want this kind of indicator. I'm using Thinkorswim, right? So it'll give you like the Pine script for it. Works great. Freaking amazing. So yeah, sorry, I was getting a few text messages. So you can see here there's already a bunch of freaking indicators on here. You can see like I have my own personal ones, your Bollinger Bands, everything, almost any normal indicator you can think of is already on here. So you just add these on your chart. If let's say DMA, if I want to add that, I press OK, you'll see there you go, it's added. So charts, great tool to use, but this is not actually how I use Thinkorswim. I'm just showing you before I get into deeper levels of how I actually use to scalp, day trade, and swing and get much better feel than you guys. So you can see here, before we move on to the trade section, because that's the next important part, you have to, you could see there's the time frames. This is pretty simple and straightforward. Unlike, I'm not going to curse, unlike freaking TradingView, you don't need to pay a dumbass, and I ended up cursing dumbass, premium subscription to get custom time frames. Are you freaking kidding me? That should be a free freaking, like why am I paying extra for that? Anyway, I don't know, that just pisses me off. You could do this, you could do that here. Oh, JP, could you stream my screen, please? JP?
I'm getting to you.
Cool. All right, so sorry about that. Yeah, this will be recorded, but JP will turn on the screen. Thanks. And then you guys can view the stream on there. Cool. All right. Let me just make sure. All right, cool.
Is your fire alarm beeping?
Yeah, do you hear that battery low thing in the background?
Wow.
Sorry. Anyway, so on the top over here, you can make your custom time frames. You have the default ones, 1 minute, 5 minute, 50 minutes. Pretty straightforward. You could also create your own 30-minute, whatever. I'm trying to bring the 22-minute into existence, right? So you could put 22-minute time interval. Let's say I only want to show 30 days. I could press OK. I could start it, and I press OK, and you'll see it bring up the 22-minute chart. Is this a real time frame? No. But do I want to make it a real time frame? Yes. Why? I don't know. But moving on, so this is the time frame thing that you could see over here. Uh, Here's the cool thing. You could share your chart pretty easily, but again, that's nothing special that you could do that. I don't know what chart describer is. I never use that. Chart settings, this can help you change like how the chart looks. Again, I'm not going to get too deep into this because this is not how I primarily use it, since unfortunately I use TradingView because a lot of babies on here complain about it. But I'm just kidding. There's so many tools. There's so many drawing tools you can use, right? There's the pan tool, which just lets you move freely along the chart. There's the arrow tool, which just helps you zoom into things, right? Stuff like that. It's just a beautiful charting platform. Trendline, like it's just so simply wow. I have no idea what I just did there. It's so beautiful that I can't stop talking about it. I don't highly talk about things unless I really like it, and TradingView never let me down. Like pretty straightforward. I mean, there's so much you could do. You could customize this. I mean, you might say it's the same things you could do on TradingView, but there's just something different about the stuff you could do here. But I'm not even gonna get into that because there's just so much I could go into this. But I want to get more into how I do the whole trading execution part. So on the right hand side here, oh my God, before I get into that, you'll see on the top here that you could actually choose as many freaking charts as you want, which again, TradingView makes you pay 40 freaking dollars to get 4 charts on your screen. Excuse me? Hombre, hello? I could get freaking you want to have charts, bro? There you go. I gave you 16 right there. 16. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, wait, no. 32 charts. 32 freaking charts. If you have a big ass monitor and you're one of those guys, this is your heaven right here. But anyway, you could choose however way you want your charts, right? You can literally have different stocks on each one. You can link charts to each other. So, for example, and this is going to all tie in what I'm saying, so pay attention. If I have 3 charts up like this, if you're one of those people who likes looking at one stock but at different time intervals, you could link all of this to the same number, right? You could see this chain over here. You press that, you press the same number. And let's say you want to look at SPY. It'll all sync to that. One time frame you could have, let's say, the 4-hour. So one chart you have the 4-hour. One chart you have the 15-minute, and one chart you have the 5-minute. It looks a little ugly right now, but you could obviously change how the chart looks. Like for example, you see how it has no space to the right? You go to the settings. So you click on the chart, you go to settings, you go to time axis, I believe. And in expansion area, you could like literally increase it to 50. There you go. You got space. If you like space, there you got space. If you don't want to see the extended hours, you go to, where is this? I think it's options. You uncheck show extended trading hours. Hold on. You uncheck show extended trading hours and equities. Boom, there you go. You only have there's so much stuff. You could see how cleaner it is over here. So yeah, so much things you could do with the charts here. Like if I change over here on this chart to Microsoft, it will bring up all the same things for that chart. So there's so many things you could do if you link the charts, and you can't do that on TradingView. I don't get why. I don't know why I can't link for like different charts that I have. I just find that completely ridiculous. As a swing trader, when I'm bringing up a chart, I would love to see the weekly, the daily, and the 30-minute all at the same time. If I want to look at ARC calls, I just want to type in one place and then for it to show up. And then I can easily check it out, right? Whoops. I can easily check it out. And I don't need to like freaking keep on checking here and pressing the weekly and pressing daily. I know that seems a little subjective and more personal preference, but that's just me ranting to you. Anyway, moving on. So many things you could do here. You could save the different styles of how many charts you want and stuff like that. We'll get into that later. But here on the right side, you'll see a few tabs, and this is where it gets Really, really important. And actually, someone said you better have like 300 gigabytes of RAM though. Thinkorswim is not too memory use. It doesn't use too much memory, not too much. Um, but here on the right hand side, you see it tabs, and this is where it gets very important. So I'm gonna move over to just one, and you can see here for every single chart, you'll have these tabs. So I'm just gonna move over to one chart. These tabs are very important because this is actually how I can show you how to trade options a lot quicker. So you see trade, time and sales, active trader, big buttons, chart, option chain. What is this? Phase scores? I have no idea what this is. Dashboard, level 2, and live news. Live news, pretty simple. You know, if you're looking at a stock, I'll pull up the stock news for it. Level 2, straightforward. Dashboard, no idea. I think this is useless. Phase scores, if you guys know what that is, you can tell me. Option chain, obviously it pulls up the option chain for the chart that you're looking at. Chart is chart. Big buttons, this is if you really want to trade shares, but no, I would personally ignore this. And this is the holy grail. Active freaking trader. Not one single platform has active trader the way freaking Thinkorswim has it, because you can use this to trade options, and you can freaking be, if you're a degenerate, this is going to be your most helpful tool, even though I don't advocate for being a degenerate. But if you're day trading and you actually have a legitimate plan, this is going to be your biggest friend. Active trader is what separates me from you when it comes to fills. We're going to get to that in just a second. So you could trade shares on this, and you're going to trade options. I'm going to show you how to trade options on this. And then, of course, time and sales shows the time and sales of whatever you're looking at. Moving on, before we get back into this, I talked about the trade tab, right? So if you click on this, you see multiple tabs on here. There's all products, Forex, futures, active trader. Active trader is more basically what we're talking about, but we're not going to look at that right now. The main thing that we're just going to focus on is all products, because this is where you can easily bring up the option chain. So for example, you could see here we have this link to number 1. So since we have this link to number 1, we could link this right here to number 1 as well. So we could, if we have like 4 charts up and each one is linked 1, 2, 3, 4, and if I want to quickly bring up the option chain for chart number 4, I just go to trade, I just do this, and I press 4. You don't need to do this. You can also, on the chart itself, you could press the option chain and you could bring this up, and there's no issue with that. I personally like going to the trade section because it's a bigger screen, a lot more information I can digest, and there's so much on here that's such crucial information. First of all, the important part that you should always have opened up is today's option statistics. If you're an option trader and you're not paying attention to IV statistics each and every single day, you're going to end up being screwed. A lot of people who took calls on Fridays were screwed today, even if the stock gapped up 4, 5, or 2%. Our calls got somewhat screwed, but we managed to get 25%. How do you, and you guys always hear me talk about IV percentile. Well, look at this. It says right here, current IV percentile, easiest thing to read. Implied volatility, which is the IV, easiest thing to read right here. And look at this. Unusual whales, hello, maybe I don't need you. Look at this, calls and puts. A lot of platforms have this, right? But calls and puts, it shows the statistics for each. Not only does it do that, it shows you the time and sales for freaking options, which, by the way, you can filter. So you can literally run your own unusual whales on freaking Thinkorswim, which, by the way, again, $50 for all time. You can literally set it to put and call. You could set it to certain strikes, set it to certain exchanges, certain quantities, certain prices. So all you only see is options orders that are big. And then that will catch your eye. So there's your freaking unusual option flow that only few other platforms have, to the extent of what Thinkorswim has. Look at this. It even shows the today's biggest orders. You could see May 16th, January 16th, right? 3,000, 1,900. You could see this. Just looking at this, this is probably a spread. So there's so much things you could do here with the option time and sales where you could almost filter it somewhat like an unusual flow that you see in platforms such as Unusual Whales. Unusual Whales, I'm not going to shit against it because it's actually a really good platform and it gives you a little bit more information than what Thinkorswim gives you here. But still, if you don't have Unusual Whales, you don't have the budget for it, this is another good tool that you could reference from time to time. Product depth, if you guys are really into reading how the implied volatility changes and option chains, for what stock you're looking at, you could look at this over here. You can get a lot of use from looking at this. I've looked at this from time to time. You can look at a delta, you can look at gamma, right? People are into gamma here. You can look at gamma, vega, intrinsic value. There's so much you could look at. What's the inference here? What can you look at this? If you look at the ARC call intrinsic versus the ARC put intrinsic, you could come up sometimes with a sentiment of where most of the options are heading towards. Anyway, moving on. This is the option chain over here. Each single expiration that is available to you has its own dropdown, which you can open up and see the options in between. If, for example, I were to open this week's, which is April 17th, and before I do, let me give you a little rundown. The expirations that are in white or gray are monthly expirations. These are always going to have a lot more liquidity than weekly expirations. Weekly expirations are the yellow expirations. So if you ever go to a stock that has a little bit less liquidity, maybe the expirations you want to look at are the monthly expirations. So if I were to go to the April 17th, which is a monthly expiration, I'm barely seeing anything on here. So what I can do is if you go over here to say where it shows strikes, I can increase this to 14. I can increase this to 50, right? If I press enter, or I could just show all the options that are available, and I could see this. ARC doesn't have that many strikes, so I'm going to go over to SPY, for example. Actually, no, I'm not going to go over to SPY. I'm going to go to NVIDIA because this just has too many. Right, so I could see all the expirations for NVIDIA and all that, so on and so forth. Cool thing here, you see all these columns? You can change this easily. You can change this to whatever thing you want to look at. If you don't want to look at this, you want to look at instead like the intrinsic value, extrinsic value, the delta, theta, right? ROR, if you're a person who sells puts, that's one of the important numbers you have to look at, right? There's so many things you could look at this. There's so many ways you could customize it, but that's not what we're getting into. So, and yes, you can actually, you can actually add custom columns on this, but I'm not going to get too deep into that. So many great stuff. You can have like your own gamma thing on here. It's insane. And I'm just scratching the surface here. But this is the option chain. If you were to click on the bid side, you're going to get an order to sell an option. If you click on the ask side, you get the opposite, which is buying the option. This table down here is just simple, right? I mean, anybody could get this kind of table and tool here where you can fill the option price. You could just press this, right? Press confirm and send, and it just sends the order through. Any platform has that. Webull has that, Robinhood has that, whatever, right? That's not what I use. So how do we use options trading to such a high frequency level where we get insane fills, where we get quick fills, where we could sell immediately, and so on and so forth? Well, if we go back to charts here, this is a cool part. Let's say, for example, we're looking at NVIDIA. Let's open up another chart. On this chart, it shows completely blank. What we're going to do here, and follow through with me on this, is we're going to change this number to number 2. You could change it to any number. But in this case, we're just going to change it to number 2. You could change this to the 1 minute chart, whatever, it doesn't matter. Time frame doesn't matter. So we're going to go back here on NVIDIA. Let's say the option market is open right now, and we're looking at NVIDIA, and we're thinking, you know, this looks bearish to me. It looks like we're creating an easy bear flag to spot, right? And I don't like the way this looks. It is a bullish channel. That's probably, I bet if I draw a fib right here, I bet it's going to be a fib level. And look at that, it frickin' is the 50 ratio. That's a lot of frickin' You see how I have OCD, not OCD, ADHD right now? I'm like jumping. So you could see fib retracement. We hit that. We rejected it. Just shows up how freaking you know, amazing the fib retracements are. And excuse my smoke alarm. I need to freaking change that. Probably should have changed it before this call. Jeez. So you could see here, let's say if I want to get puts on video, let's go back to trade section. And let's say we're looking through this, and for some reason we believe, well, first of all, what I'd usually have here is I'd have the volume. So where's the volume? Volume, right? So we could see the volume on here, and then another important one is open interest. So looking at this, we could see the volume. Yes, it's there is decent volume and open interest on 109, but we see there's a decent open interest, a lot more open interest than volume on 108. So we're like, okay, I want to get into the 108 puts. Let's presume the market is open. Here's the cool thing. Instead of just clicking this and just fill in the order, what I can do instead is right click on the option on the calls on the put side, right? Because we're looking at puts, and I'll bring up this drop down. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over here to send in, the option name 2, and I'm gonna press the number which we had on the second chart, which is number 2, which in this case is yellow. When I do this, it will bring this up. It will bring the option chart up. And here's where it gets even cooler. I could unclick the chart. I could press active trader and time and sales. I could click the settings button over here, press customize, put in PL open, add this to this column over here, press OK, make this a little bit bigger, bring this drop down, put how many ever contracts I want to buy, click auto send, and there you freaking go. I can immediately, whichever price I want to fill, enter here, buy limit, set my sell limit orders according to what I want. And this is how I keep on getting those fills, which you guys don't understand how I freaking fill. This is the easiest thing I could ever do when it comes to the options. And I'm so sorry about that alarm. But this is the easiest thing you can freaking do. I'm talking about whatever you're trading, QQQ, 0DTE, Meta puts, Tesla calls, NVIDIA puts. This thing is literally the best tool to fill options on any freaking platform. I can adjust my freaking order since the market is closed. I'll show you right now. If I put a limit order here, and let's say, and I'll show you an example because I can go, and I'll show you another cool feature on this. I can actually go previously in time and show you how I can enter this trade. Man, since you guys mentioned the freaking fire alarm, I can't stop paying attention to it. I can, if this option moves up a little bit, up, right? I can easily adjust this. Look at this. I can adjust this. I can add one more. I can add one more. I can add one more, right? I don't know why I brought up that order, but, and then let's say I fill the order, right? I can sell trim limits, right? It's canceling right now because I'm not in a position, but I could sell contracts the second I get into it. And then here's the cool part. Instead of it being single, you can do a target with bracket. So here's the cool thing. You can, while entering, you can set a take profit and a stop loss while you're entering the trade. So if I change this, you could see value offset. Let's say if I change this to percentage and percentage, what this means is I could set a percent value where if I were to enter at a certain price, all right, let's cancel these orders, by the way, because I don't want to get filled tomorrow morning. I can make it where, let's say if I'm one of those risk to reward traders and I want to take profit at 50% and I want my stop loss at 25%, I could set my trigger for the limit sell at, no, I need to do with 2 brackets. So I would change all of this to percentage, and I could do the, am I doing this wrong here? Because I don't use this that much, this function. But basically what I'm trying to say is I can set this to where it basically has a take profit at, let's say, 50% and a stop loss at 25%. And if I hover this, look at that. That's not right. So let me press enter. Look at that. You could see here, if I were, for example, put this limit order, you could see that this is messed up because I set this wrong. But you could see that I have a limit order at 50%. Oh yeah, so it is correct. So I have a limit order at 50% profit, which is 285 from entry. And I have a stop loss at 25% loss. which is at 143. So you could see the cool things you can do here if it's so tailored to the way you trade that no other platform does this, especially at a quick pace. Yeah, of course you could do this bracket order with Webull, but how can you do it on a freaking active trader like this, where during the day the option prices, especially in a volatile market like right now, move so frequently that sometimes you need to get a fill as quickly as possible, and you just need to do it. No other platform gives this. You can also, if you're a person who does market orders, I don't like market orders, but if you like doing market orders, you can just fill a market order. It'll fill you at the best price, right? You could sell it at market, whatever. If you're let's say you're in like a losing position and you just want to get out and you have orders, just press flatten and it flattens everything. If you have orders that are on here and you just want to cancel everything, you just press cancel. So it's so cool what you could freaking do on freaking TradingView on freaking. I get pissed because I hate thinking of how you guys are getting scammed of opportunities to get better freaking trades. I need to calm my language. I need to stay halal, bro. But all right, here's another cool feature on Thinkorswim. Right before we go over to the mobile, and we go over with that. No other fucking platform lets you go back in time and trade freaking options, bro. No other platform lets you do that. You could go back in time and look at charts on freaking TradingView. Yeah, sure, that's great. But what's the point? Like if I'm trading options, how am I gonna see if I'm a swing trader? How am I gonna see if what I'm looking at and the strategies I'm trading are actually valuable? Right? It's complete dookie if I'm not back testing what I have. So how do you back test? Lo and behold, the second holy grail of Thinkorswim. There's many holy grails if you're not caught to the theme of this live session here. On demand feature. If you click on this, your eyes will explode because you now have one of the most powerful backtesting tools that you will see on any platform. What you can do is you can go back all the way. I don't know why it's giving me opportunity to go in the future. I've never tried that. That's kind of crazy. But you could go back 3 years, back to 2022, and look at 2022 data and trade options based on that. So if we're right now in a bear market. If I want to figure out how the freaking bear market was back in 2022, I could freaking do that. I could go back to April. Look at this. Right now, currently, it's April 11th. Apparently, that's the day I accidentally clicked, which was Friday. Look at this. I'm seeing the live prices on freaking NVIDIA. Oh, look at this. By the way, I'm sorry if I'm annoying right now, but let me gloat because I've been talking about this platform when no one ever wants to freaking watch me and listen to me. This, by the way, is trading fake money, obviously, right? You can't trade real money in the past. If you thought that, I don't know what to tell you. So you get like $100,000 in fake cash. There's, by the way, a paper trading account which you can open up. Very great tool to use if you want to, do paper trading on a live data. But if you want to do it on past data and figure out what you're looking at, look at this. If you go back to trade, remember how we didn't see the option chain for last week? Wow, look at this. The option chain for last week is freaking here. What? And what's this? If you look at it, the option prices are freaking moving. What platform lets you do that? No one. No one lets you do that. So again, I could do the same thing I was telling you guys. So let's say I'm looking at NVIDIA and I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm a little bearish on NVIDIA, right? Even though look at this, I can move in forward in time. Let's say it's 9:31 Eastern because I'm on the Eastern time zone. Let's change this to 9:35 Eastern. Actually, you know what? Let's go to 10:35 a.m. Eastern. I could choose the dates, but let's just stick with last week on Friday because you guys will remember Friday, and press go. You see here on the left-hand side, they're going to say rebuffering. So while it rebuffers, let me remove this freaking DMA thing. I don't even know what that is. So we'll wait till this is done rebuffering, because once it's done rebuffering, that's when you can actually know that it's showing you the actual data at that time. All right, cool. It shows on demand. we're back in the past. You can see here the candle's actively moving. I can pause it, I can fast forward it, but that's not really important. If I go back to trade and I'm looking at NVIDIA right now, I'm thinking, let's just say at this point, I think, hey, you know what, NVIDIA, lower high, lower high. I want to take a gamble on calls. I want to see if I took calls at this point, how they would do. I could go to the trade section, bring up that week's expiration, look at the option chain, look at how the freaking volume and open interest was, and let's say I'm interested in the 109 calls, but I see the OI on the 110 calls. I'm going to send this to number 2. Remember how we made this number 2? It doesn't have to be number 2, but that's what we did in this scenario. Send it to number 2. You have the freaking option active trader here, and you could test this freaking out. So the cool thing is, if you remember the monitor tab, this was filled with all the trades, the shares I had in this long-term account, right? But now it's empty. So if I go onto NVIDIA, and let's say, you could see it's going down. Let's say, obviously when during the live market, this is going to be a lot more fluid. Since this is recorded data, it's not going to be like, it's going to show us stuttering, right? So it's not going to be perfect. Because again, no other platform allows you to do this. So of course, it's doing its best here. But let's say we want to fill at 91 cents. We got filled at 91 cents. You could see it shows our fill here. You could see the P&L open side, which shows you how much loss and, profit you're going to be in. You could see we filled 5 contracts because that's what we set. And if we go to the monitor tab, you can actually now see it shows how much money we put into it, how much it's worth right now, right? How much it's up or down, which is the PL open. The PL day is the same thing as PL open if you're day trading. And I can go forward if I don't want to wait for this. I can go forward from 37 to 47. And I can let this rebuffer. And by the way, how freaking cool is it that you can actually see the time and freaking sales of the options during that moment, which is insane. Oh, we'll let this finish rebuffering. Look at that. We're up on our contracts. Boom. I didn't even know how NVIDIA traded on Friday. I just saw that and I want to take calls. We're up on our thing. We could sell market it right here. In fact, you know what? Let's reduce it to just 2 contracts. Let's sell market. We took some of the profits there. If we go to monitor, look at that. PL open, $33. We profited $74 from that. Big whoop. Nothing huge. But look at that. I mean, what platform lets you do that? This is just on a day trading basis. Imagine if you want to back test for a bear market, right? So let's say you want to go all the way back to, I don't know how it's showing 2026 and stuff like that. I have to check that out. Let's say you want to go to April 2022. Let's go to Wednesday. I don't know. Let's just look at Wednesday. It's going to rebuffer. Give it a second. Oh my God. What the hell? That ain't right. So give it a second. I don't know why NVIDIA is showing up. Like one day it popped from $20 to 221 because that's not the case. Oh, that was the option. This is the option. I don't know why it's showing like that. But let's just go to another month because I think it's glitching out a little bit. Let's go to May. Let's go to 25th. Just let that rebuffer. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on there. I don't know why NVIDIA is showing up like that. Maybe because it's way far back. Okay, let's go to Microsoft, for example. Right, this is Microsoft weekly. If we could go to the daily. You see daily right here. And let's say you're looking at Microsoft and you want to test if it's worth buying leaps in a bear market. I can go to the trade section. I can view the option chain in that current day. I'm like, okay. Let me see how calls are. If I bought June 2024 calls, let this update. Sorry, it's taking a, okay. Let's say I want to buy June, 2024 calls, and I want to buy the 260 calls. Let's send that to number 2. do the charts. Let this buffer again. And let's just buy, I don't know, 3 contracts, right? We got filled at 49.50. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fast forward from 2022. Let's fast forward to July. Let's fast forward to December 2023. Let's go to the 14th. Let's press go. Remember, we bought these contracts at, where did we buy them? 49.50. So we'll let this pre-buffer. All right, now that's pre-buffered. We go to the monitor tab. Lo and behold, don't care about our Microsoft. Well, what's this? Our calls, our leap calls on Microsoft are up 133%. There's your back testing, right? There's so much you could do with this. You know, there's just so much with this on-demand feature that you can use, and it's just amazing, right? And for those who are new to trading, if you weren't here for the bear markets, if you weren't here for the bull runs from 2023, all the way to 2025 or 2024, this is an amazing tool. And you don't need to use it just for figuring out if leaps work. You can figure out, let's say if you go onto TradingView and you see a bull flag, or let's say you're on Thinkorswim and you see like a bull flag you really like, or let's say you see this and you think, hey, this looks like a bear flag. Let me try out a put and let me see how it looks 2 days from now. There you go. There's your thing, right? If you want to follow a similar strategy like me, where you wait till near close, you could change this till near close. What's the, isn't it like, what's 355? That's 1550, right? So 1550, you could change this to 1550. And you could see how these charts look near close. And you could figure, okay, if I were to do this, if I were to follow this, will this really work out, right? Is the strategy I'm having working out? Is it better to enter before market close? Is it better to enter near market close? There's so many things you could use with this backtesting thing, and nobody uses it. Nobody. All you guys use is freaking TradingView, if you even use that, where you just just go back in time and see how the thing goes. Okay, well, big whoop. How are you gonna figure out how the options move? Clearly, you saw today on a 4% gap up on ARC. You saw your contracts only on ARC go up 25%. So obviously contracts just don't move perfectly with stocks. They move with stocks, but they move also based on their IV and all of the different factors. So this is a way you could freaking figure it out. And I really hope you guys make use of this on-demand tool, because for you guys who don't know what strategies are working for you, or you want to figure out what strategy works for you, I am telling you, you can find almost every single indicator on here, or even if you don't want to use the charting platform on here and you want to use TradingView and you just want to, bring up the charts on TradingView, and let's say you see whatever, right? You can use this on-demand feature to go back in time, buy options for whatever date, for whatever criteria you want to buy. You want to see if it's worth buying just the next week calls versus calls that are 4 weeks ahead, right? Which one gives you more safety? Is it really worth buying monthly expirations versus weekly expirations? Is it worth getting 2 weeks out and seeing the contract gain 100%? Or is it better to buy 4 weeks out, seeing it gain more in value in terms of the delta, right? Which makes the contract more expensive, which is good for you, but it's not a big percentage wise, right? You could test out so many things. You could test out, I could go on forever. So that's the on-demand feature. Amazing feature. Cannot advocate for it enough. One of the tools I used for years, anytime I want to try out something, this is what I do. I'm obsessed with trading. It is what I literally breathe. This is an obsession of mine, and this is one of the greatest tools you can ever find. All the price action stuff you can see from me that no one else can replicate is because I put in hours into using this kind of tool. Whatever criteria I wanted, I back tested on this, and that is why my win rate's so high. You think it's just because I got lucky? No, It's because I put in the work, and this is such an easy tool to freaking use. I literally showed you how you can, even if you want to day trade, I showed you how you can, use this to day trade. So easy. So freaking easy. Anyway, moving on. I'm not mad at you guys. I'm just very passionate about it. Scan feature, very cool. Very, very cool. You can scan stocks, options, and spreads. If you there are a few scanners, and I used to have them. If I can find them, they're pretty cool. This scanner basically finds, you can make different criterias, right? Like there's so many options you could choose on here. You can add different filters, right? Oh, here's a cool thing. Guess what? You can add a filter to find freaking, let me clear all of this. You can put a filter to find patterns on a chart. Like what? Head and shoulders, rising wedge, falling wedge, triple bottom, yada yada yada. I can also do study, press this, and I can actually find bullish and bearish candlestick freaking patterns, bro. So what you can do here is, let's say I have a few filters we can see here. Let's say high volume scanner, right? It's just a scanner I had so long ago. You can see it brings up a bunch of stocks, high volume. This is mostly going to be the stuff that's in the S&P 500, right? On here, additional to this, what I can do is I can literally press add filter. If you guys aren't, if you don't have the time to look through stocks, a freaking scanner is your best friend, right? So I could press add filter, press study. Show up as this. I could do this. I could press bullish only candle patterns, and if you guys know candle patterns, there you freaking go. You got the 3 outside up, 3 stairs in the south. I don't know what the hell that is. 3 white soldiers. I mean, you guys obviously know what this is. You could put the input length. You could put the trend setup. If I press scan, is anything gonna show up? No, there's not. Right? So it will literally find only what you want it to find. Nothing like it. Literally nothing like it. I like, what does this? And when you go to options, the cool thing is you can actually, let's say you only like trading stuff that has volume, right? You could set up a scanner here, and there's so many YouTube videos if you want to figure out the scanners on Thinkorswim. There's so many videos. You could build a stock scanner on Thinkorswim on the stock hacker, and you could save that. And by the way, you can make it as a watch list, so any day you could check your phone and it'll show you only the stocks that fit in your criteria in that watch list. How cool is that? And anyway, you could go to the option hacker, and then you could link the option scanner to the stock scanner that you had before, and only in those stocks you can find contracts that are, let's say, priced unreasonably low, because sometimes that happens. It's called arbitrage trading, right? You could do that, or you can find contracts that are getting unusual volume, which ties into what JP Tom talked about in previous live sessions, which goes into unusual option activity, call and put walls. Limitless. What you can do is limitless. So please, and if you guys trade spreads, you can literally find amazing things on here. Unfortunately, the thing I had on here kind of emptied out, but you could have like iron condors if you're a person who trades like, oh, I only want to have a credit spread that has 30 delta. You could literally set up everything to, show that, and you literally populate spreads according to whichever stock watch list you want, or any stock that you can find on the New York Stock Exchange. So before I move on to the phone thing, I'll show you how my setup looks like. So you could actually search save your workplace. So the way it's set up right now, you could save it. Just press save workplace as, and then when you save it, it'll show up on the bottom over here. Bishop Final 1. I don't know why I named it that. I have weird names. This is what mine was. Okay. You can see how mine is, right? This is how mine is. Obviously, it has a lot more option chains on, but that's because I have multiple positions to manage. I usually have swing trades and day trades. Day trades that I personally take myself that I don't have time to share, or swing trades that I don't share necessarily. But you could see here, the AU calls that we took, the ARC calls that we took on Friday, the Dell calls I personally took, SLV puts that we took, Kroger calls that we had. Again, this is the 260K account, so you will not see the positions on those because I'm not trying to expose my personal positions on that. But you could see how my setup is, right? This is how I use it. Again, I could use the chart function. I can actually use the charts on Thinkorswim but then, people are going to be like, oh, wait, it looks too old. I don't like it. And stuff like that. But even if you want to look at futures charts, it's on this. I mean, what more can I tell you, man? Anyway, all right. Let me move on to the mobile thing to show you how the mobile app looks like, which is really good. If you find this desktop platform too complicated, or let's say if you're on the go, I am telling you, if the Thinkorswim desktop application is the best desktop trading application you can find, you better believe that the mobile version is the best mobile app you can freaking find. So let me give me a second. Let me stream my phone here. Give me a second. Okay, cool. All right. 1 second, sorry. Okay. Can you guys tell me if you could see my screen here, my phone screen? Okay. So before we go into Thinkorswim mobile app, you can see this beautiful picture of the GOAT himself, Russell Wilson, who's on the New York Giants. Greatest football player that ever played. Maybe that's a stretch, but he's amazing. Anyway, don't worry, my phone doesn't look this ugly. I got multiple screens. I just have this over here. But the Thinkorswim app, you could see over here, it's on the top right, top left, the white and blue logo. So if you click that, this is how the app looks like. You can see this is a lot cleaner than the desktop version. This is why I prefer to track on here for not only my long term but my option day trades and swings versus my versus the desktop platform. I can do it, but it's just a lot more simpler on here. You can see if I press account balances, for example, it will show me here what exactly all the statistics I need to see if I want to see that. If I want to see my positions, I could click my position movers. You could see, you guys always see me posting the screenshots, right, of the zero, up 5% for a day or up 10% for a day. This is the screenshot I take. It'll show you here what are the positions that are up for a day, whether it's shares or options or futures. So if you click on position movers, this will bring you up your positions for a day. You could customize these columns to show you which columns you want to appear, but I mean, you could see why it's a lot easier, a lot more modern looking than, let's say, the desktop version when it comes to tracking. I can easily tell, okay, I'm up, 25%, I'm down 50%. Oh my God, what am I down 50% on? Well, I'm down 219% on puts I sold on HIMS, but I'm only down 33% on HIMS shares. The funny thing was, this is an account challenge, and I reset this year. The HIMS shares, I had it from $6 on this account, and it was just a phenomenal run. Anyway, you could see my second biggest loser is AAL, for example, down 33%. Margins, the amount of net liquidity in here. You could see the PL year to date, right? And then if I want to see what's my biggest gainers, you could see here Celsius, BABA, AU, OR, Ego, FNV, SoFi, FTS, BTI. So it's a lot easier to track on the phone, right? And just if you were to remove all of these and just be a swing trader, your options will show here pretty easily, right? They'll show something up like, we're over here. You see this option over here? It'll show like this. So it's pretty easy to manage, right? The mark is just the current price. Trade price is what you filled at. Obviously, PL day is how much it's up for a day. PL open is how much it's down or up for a day. If you press the 3 bars on the left-hand side, you'll see on the top hand, I'm not going to click it, but you can see you can click switch account and you could switch through different accounts if you haven't. Overview is the home page, which we saw earlier. Pretty nice, has an overview of your watch list if you have any. You also have the account balances, position movers, orders if you want to see and if you have any orders open. If you want to see the indexes, right, you can see the markets here. You can see what's up or down for a day. You can see, for example, that SPX and Dow Jones and NASDAQ is up right now. Or I think that was a previous day. I'm not exactly sure. Portfolio Digest, this shows you the most relevant news for the positions that are in your account. And this shows you the news for the positions that are in your account. Yeah. And yeah. So over here, you could see watch list is there if you want to see your watch list positions, which you already went to. Orders lets you see the orders for your account and stuff like that, right? In the past, you could filter it out to show you the last 30 days, whatever it might be, right? You could see when I bought shares, when I sold shares, stuff like that. So how do you trade on this? Very, very simple. This is very basic stuff. Almost similar to Webull, but Webull technically copied Thinkorswim, right? So let's say I want to trade Tesla options. I press on again, so I type in just like Tesla. I click on Tesla, bring up the chart that, which by the way, syncs with your desktop. So your desktop chart shows up on your Thinkorswim mobile app, right? So you can see my old chart here from, you know how long I drew these levels before it broke out? That's crazy. So I literally, look at this. These levels were drawn all the way back here. So that's crazy. Look how accurate they were. But, so you can see the chart here. If you want to see a chart, you could change to whatever time frame you want. You want to see 5 minute, whatever it is, right? But that's not what we're here for. We're not going to really be using our phone for charting. We can use our desktop. So all you got to do here is press options, and you can see this is similar to what we saw on the trading tab on the desktop version, but it's just a lot more modern and simpler looking. Again, you could change how many strikes you're looking at. So if I want to look at 50, this kind of makes the space on my face pretty clear. I don't know what space on my face means, but we'll just go with it. So let's say, for example, let's say the market was open and I wanted to buy calls. All I need to do is just long press on an option. I could press sell or buy, and before I do that, you can see it brings up the statistics for the option as well. So if I press buy, you'll see it brings up this order tab. Very simple. If you guys use Webull Mobile, you could see how Webull Mobile copied this. This is the mid price, right? This is the fill you usually want to get. If you want to sell options, you just press the buy sell button on the top over here. You see on the top, right? On the top over here, below the symbol tab and the spark tab. Let me see if I could bring my mouse. So here you could see, like, you could see the amount you're about to buy, right? That's the really only important part. What option you're gonna buy, and then you could change the limit order, right? What you're trying to fill it for. So if I want to fill it for like 650 or something like that, I could do that, or I can just actively adjust it according to this slider bar over here. I could change the quantity pretty easily. I could see how much the trade costs. If you guys use Webull, you're used to this, right? If I scroll all the way down, here's the freaking cool part. Here's the freaking cool part. I could submit conditions. So let's say, for example, let's say I entered this Tesla call already today, and I entered at I don't know, let's just say $4, and I'm up on the trade. And if I were to bring up the Tesla chart right now, oh, they have an Easter sale on TradingView. But how freaking expensive is that compared to what I'm showing you right now? So if I were to bring up, let's bring up Tesla right now. You know, this live session, I really hope shows you how much of a scam TradingView is. For what? What does it give you? More than TradingView, Thinkorswim. So let's say I got into Tesla, and I'm just looking at Tesla right here, and I'm thinking, okay, all right, I'm in Tesla calls, and if it reaches, let's say I have a level, because I had a level here, so let's say it reaches 258.29, right? There's too many stuff on here, so let me reduce it. 258.29, I want to sell my calls. Guess freaking what? You could set your stop losses and your take profits according to stock price. So if we scroll down, I don't know how to do this actually on the desktop version, so I actually do this on my mobile phone if I ever want to do this. You can see there's submit conditions and cancel conditions. Obviously, if we're already in the position, we're going to be selling the position. So we can go all the way down here to market conditions, and we obviously don't want to submit at a custom time. we want to submit at a custom, we want to submit on a custom market condition. So if we click that, it will bring on this drop down. We press add condition. Look at this. I could set the symbol I wanted to go according to. So even if I don't, let's say I'm looking at the VIX, I could set this to the VIX, right? I could delete all of this and I could be like, hey, if the VIX reaches, right, we'll just make the mark. If the VIX is at or above, right, make sure you check this correctly. If the VIX is at or above, I don't know, 50, I want you to sell my call, regardless of the price. Isn't that freaking cool? And of course, obviously, we're not usually going to do that. But let's say we're going to go according to Tesla, and we say, okay, if Tesla, what was the price we said? If Tesla were to reach 258.29, if it's at or below, right? We choose at or below 258.29, it will sell my call. If I scroll up, you'll see now that this drop down popped up below the sell button over here that shows MAN. You don't want MAN. You click on that and you change it to mark. And when you change it to mark, this basically, wait, it's mark, right? Yeah, it's mark. Mark basically is like the mid price kind of, or what the current price option is. It's like the average between the bid and the ask. And you could change the increment of how much you want. So when it shows like minus 10 cents, it means if the stock hits 258, right, our criteria, which is 258.29, whatever, it will sell the option 10 cents lower than the current option price. Well, you would ask, oh, why would I do that? Well, because obviously you don't know how fast the rejection is going to be, right? If it reaches that. So I can adjust it. Let's say I want to make it 5 cents. Even if I want to make it 2 cents, if I want to be greedy, right? How many contracts I want to sell, if I have multiple contracts. And all I need to do is I just press review. And you could see here, if you scroll all the way down, if I actually go back, sorry, let me go back. If you scroll, where is it? Okay, here, order description. If I'm going to breeze through this. And this is going to be the last part of this thing, and you guys can ask me whatever questions. Order description. Submit the following order. Sell the Tesla call when the bid is at or above the mark price of the security when the order is minus 0.2. When the order is issued, that is set to set the mark price, the value instrument. Yeah, basically it's saying we'll sell the option. But then you'll see point number 2. Wait until the following condition is satisfied. Mark price of the security is less or equal to. So we had it wrong. So we had it at or below. We had to set it to at or above. Then you'll see changes to wait until the following condition is satisfied. Mark of the price of security, which is Tesla in this case, is greater or equal to 258.29. This order will show as a wait condition status during the waiting time. So now if I submit this, obviously I'm not going to submit it because I don't have a contract of Tesla on this account. If Tesla were to hit that, it immediately 258.29, it will put out that order and it will sell it for, what did I say, 2 cents cheaper than the mark. There you go. So how brain dead trading can this be? Like, you don't even have to put that much work. You literally can set your stop loss. So let's say, so additional to this, I can add another condition. And let's say if I go back to Tesla, let's say I got on these calls over here. So I want my stop loss below 244.86. I can make the order be like this, where I set the thing at or below, because now it's a stop loss, and the threshold is, what was the price I said? 244.86. So we'll do 244.50, and there you go. So now if I scroll back at here, you'll see that now it added the second thing, right? So it's either going to be greater or equal to 258.29, or if it goes below 244.50, it will sell the order. So now I've got a stop loss and a take profit according to the stock chart instead of just your option percentage. That's pretty cool, right? So this is all I had to say when it came to Thinkorswim. There's so much deeper I can go, but this subject, I don't want to make it too long and boring. But yeah, do you guys have any questions regarding this? mean, you guys could ask your questions. I need to go put my dog downstairs. Give me 1 second. Boo, come on. All right, cool. I'm back. Um, I am now T. Oh, yeah, I'm glad. I hope that spoiled you because this is the best platform you can use. And even if you want to be brain dead and continue using, again, sorry, I'm not trying to offend you, but not specifically you. I'm just talking in general. Um, if you want to continue being brain dead and using, Weeble or Robinhood, that's fine. That's up to you. It's all personal preference. But I still don't find a reason why you should not have Thinkorswim as one of your trading tools. I mean, it's just $50 that you could withdraw at any time. It's just crazy. So the 15K account I opened with Thinkorswim, but it only shows individual account. How do I find out if it's cash or margin? If you go to Charles Schwab's website, you can actually see under the profile tab, it will actually show you if you're approved for margin, stuff like that. It's also I'm telling you, it is the easiest thing to just call them. I mean, they just call up and they're a bro. Like, they just talk to you so casual. Like, hey, what's up? How can I help you? Usually it's some white dude who's really nice. He's like, hey, my name's Brad. How can I help you today? He'll literally answer all your questions. Brad, John, Nathaniel, Daniel. I don't know. So many of them. They're so nice. Yeah. Um, it's no, hello, this is Thinkorswim customer service. How may I help you today? No, there's no like that. There's no rude Indians. I'm not saying all Indians are rude, but you guys were Indian, you know what I mean. Um, I'm Indian too, that's why I made that joke. I'm not racist. But yeah. So I guess there's no questions about Thinkorswim. Let me see. Oh, by the way, Thinkorswim, if you guys do spreads, the two greatest platforms are Tasty Trade and Thinkorswim. So, no, it's great platforms. Great platforms. Opera? What's opera? I suck at terminology. Can you share your scanners or do you use TradingView these days? I have both. Um, I'm not trying to gatekeep anything from you. It's just I don't know if I have. I've made so many scanners over time for different purposes that I mean, look at this. Look at this. I like at this point I don't know what's what. Um, I remember when I wanted to sell puts during what's it called? Yo, I'm not JP, I'm Kevin. If I wanted to sell puts during a bull market, one thing I would pull up is this scanner which showed high IV, and I would press scan, and it showed me all the stocks that are very high IV. And before, it used to only be like 4 to 6 stocks. It usually used to be Mara, Celsius, and stuff like that. But you could see here with the market sell-offs we have a lot more population in terms of the stocks we can sell puts on. So I mean, you're having some names that were never been here before. App, actually, that's been there. ARM has never been there before. ANF was never really there before. BABA, especially AMD, CCL, Kava. Yeah, I mean, if you, I don't, I just don't know what I'd share with you. I feel like I don't have, yeah. Honestly, I've yeah, I think like what I have on here is nothing special. It's just stuff you can scan up yourself because I did delete a lot of them, and there's cool other scanners here. Um, I've so many things you can look at. Can volume profile be set up like how it is on TradingView? Good question. I think it can be. Um, Not exactly. Let's see. If I were to just go to this, maybe not that one. Let's go to this one. I think if we're to go to, I think the volume profile that it has is not the exact one. So it shows up like this, but you can change it around. I remember that. But essentially it's the same thing. Oops. Yeah, you could change it, or you can create a new what's it called? A new think script, where again it's so easy to do it, or you can find YouTube videos online. Very simple. So yeah. Okay, let me go back. Can you share your scanners? Yeah, I mean I could share the ones I have. I just don't know if they're worth anything to you. I'm not trying to gatekeep. I'll look through them tonight and I'll see if I have anything nice. I've always found it difficult to have active trader for options on desktop. Can you just show again the links you have for this? For that, so you're able to easily click a contract and pull it up on active trader? Yeah, so you could do a few things here. Let's say one chart you have on the chart sector, like for example, let's say I'm looking at I don't know. Oh, UL, which I'm freaking pissed off I didn't freaking get into. Let me remove that thing. Remove all studies. Yes. Let me change this dial because I hate looking at this like that. Okay. All right. So what I can do here is if I have a ticker pulled up, whatever ticker it is, I can either do two ways. I can just pull up the option chain on here. I can find the option that I want. So for instance, which calls I got the May 16th 43 calls. So I could go to like I could go to April 16th, right? In this case, I find the oh, I'm so retarded. I can find whatever call I want to get, right? So let's say it's the 6250s. I right click on it. I go down to the send UL and I send it to whichever color I want based on whichever box I want here. So if I want to send it to this Dell thing, which is number 3, I could just press send UL blue, right? And the way you do it on here is if you pull up I'm blanking here. If you pull up the same thing, let's say you pull up Tesla instead. Tesla, you could go to whichever contract. Let's say you want to pull up the 260s. You right click on the contract, doesn't matter which side, but you'll right click in the middle of the contract on the number, not the letters, on the number, and you hover down your mouse to the send. You see this link sign, you press send, and you send it to whatever color. So if you have it 3, you send it to 3. And you could change the chart numbers up on the top over here, so you could send it to there. So that's how you send it, and then you could do whatever you want on here. Yeah, Chipper, bro, I'm JP's not talking today, man. It's me, it's Kevin. Uh, let's see. Can volume profile? I already answered that. Option pricing reportedly authority Webull charges for a month. Yeah, it's bullshit. Like, why am I paying? That's why I hate it. Like, I hate feeling like I'm scammed, man. Like on Webull, I need to pay for lifetime data For TradingView, I need to pay lifetime data to pull up freaking stocks and futures? Like what? So you're telling me a $14 subscription can turn into a $26 subscription just to get futures and some certain stocks on it? Like that's crazy to me. You know, that's just like that's a complete ripoff. And your question is why would people charge that? Well, because they don't charge commissions. And what happens when they don't charge? Well, they do charge commissions. They just charge very cheap commissions. It's because it is literally, that's why you get the worst fills on it. This is how you should look at it. Robinhood is the worst platform. Webull is just one step above it in terms of being better. Just one step. Remember that. Webull is nothing compared to the superior trading platforms. The King, which is Thinkorswim. The Prince, which is, I don't know why I'm going this cheesy route. The Thinkorswim, which is the best one. Tasty Trades, which is great as well. I heard Ninja Trader is also good at options. I never even knew that had options. Interactive Brokers is a really great platform as well in terms of fill times. E-Trade, of course, that's the one that JP uses. All these are pretty good. But Webull, Robinhood, I mean, you guys are looking at fool's gold and thinking it's gold. So wait till you try out Thinkorswim and you realize the fill times on these are freaking amazing. So yeah, it's just they're scams. Don't even bring up Mumu. We don't bring up Mumu, all right? All right. If you had both, you prefer TradingView though for the functions they share. I like how often TradingView updates their charts. I will say one thing I wish Thinkorswim did a lot more was update their platform with a lot more things and make it look a lot more modern. This is a great platform, but I mean, you can't also sit back as a developer for Thinkorswim think, hey, we gave traders all the platform, 99% of tools, we're not going to do anything, right? They only fix bug fixes here and there, but they're not making as much changes to update the platform, make it more modern looking, or even if you don't care about modern looking, just add more tools to it, right? Update things from the online community and bring a lot more here. There's still an online community and there's stuff you can do yourself, but you have to do it yourself. So with TradingView, it's a lot easier to find online scripts. You can find it on TradingView's platform itself, versus for Thinkorswim, you have to find on YouTube videos, Reddit forums, whatever you want to look at. So TradingView beats in that department. And yes, there are great tools on TradingView, but again, you could kind of get that same thing on Thinkorswim for $50 all time, right? So I will always choose Thinkorswim, but I don't fully blame you if you choose the practicality and the simplicity of TradingView. There's some scripts for it, but probably not as many criteria as TradingView. Yeah, so there again, you could go try to find community scripts for indicators, and they will come close to TradingView, but some of them might not come as close, and some of them will be exactly the same. Can you share what parameters you would consider to create a scanner for the wheel? I actually have a scanner for the wheel. So I think that's I think it's this one. So what this is, it this one? I think it's this one. Anyway, let me see. 1 second, sorry. So this here, what this scanner brings up is it brings up basically higher volatility tickers or stocks that are in their higher IV percentile, which is obviously better because you like selling contracts in their higher IV percentile. And then you can just go through them, find whichever put you want to sell. There's better, you can bring this down a lot better. This is not fine-tuned. Again, I messed up a lot of things recently because I was like switching laptops and everything like that, and I deleted some things. But if you want to take a screenshot of this, this is This is like a basics thing, and you can go and add additional to this. But yeah. All right. You already answered this. I didn't ask it again. No worries, all good. Oh yeah. Thanks, Frank. No, you're not an idiot, dude. I'm just surprised you mistake my voice for JP's. I'm pretty sure JP's voice is better than mine. Sir, you need to replace that fire alarm battery. Safety first. Well, you gotta ask yourself this question: should I be afraid of the fire, or should the fire be afraid of me? You can shoot me now or anytime. It's okay. I won't blame you. Um, I need to go over the contract fees it's worth on Schwab. So, okay, here's the thing. Thinkorswim does charge commissions. If you have a small account, you're going to end up buying, maybe you might buy cheaper contracts, and, you know, commissions are going to be there. It's 65 cents to enter and 65 cents to exit per contract. So commissions hurt, but if you have a bigger portfolio, or if you have a history with them, you can call them up and you could be like, hey, yo, Brad, because his name is probably going to be Brad or John. Hey, Brad, I've been with you guys, or you can literally say like this. You can open up a new account. Let's say a few days go by. You take just a few trades here and there. You get on the phone. You're like, hey, Brad, I'm coming from Webull. I have a bunch more money there. I'm looking to fully transfer to Thinkorswim. What kind of commission can you give me? It is actually a negotiation. They will sit down. They're like, hey, all right, let me review your account and get back to you. They'll put you on hold. And they'll come back to be like, they might say, hey, how much are you looking to transfer? Right? And they'll ask you questions. I'm not endorsing lying, but you could say whatever you want, right? And then they'll be like, okay, sometimes they might say, unfortunately, your account's too new. We can't reduce your commission, but you could call back in a few months, right? And you could call back in a few months. Here's my mentality. If you're worrying about commissions, you're not trading right, because that means your trades are already not that great that you're worrying about commissions. I get it if you're buying a lot of contracts and you're scalping very cheap contracts. That is a very valid point. But if you're entering contracts that are $1.50, $2.50, $3.50, even 50 cents, that's like $50, $150, $250, $250, like commissions, really, is that really going to help or hurt your account that much? Like, yeah, of course, I know if I went and checked my commissions for my trading account, it's going to hurt seeing like, oh, I lost that amount of money, but who cares? Look at the P&L. That's what matters the most. So again, you could renegotiate. I have one of the cheapest rates for Thinkorswim. I'm not going to say it because it is pretty unattainable. Let's just say it's between 25 cents and 35 cents. So you can try getting it down, but I'm pretty sure they're not going to take you down more than like 55 or 50 or 45 until you have very prolonged history with them. And you could keep calling. You could keep calling every week. You could be like, hey, I want to bring it down. I have more money. I want to bring it down. They'll work with you. They won't get annoyed. So there you go. Yeah, so Brandon, to get to what you're saying, I will 100% pay more commissions to get the best fill time in the entire market for retail traders versus getting a sucky fill time to save a few cents per contract by using a shitty platform like Robinhood or Webull. Good point. So for TOS, you don't have to pay for live data. No, you don't. You just have to have $50 in the account. At least that's what I remember how it used to be. You could call them and ask them. Again, they'll answer pretty quickly. But I'm pretty sure someone could correct me on this. The last time I checked, it was $50. In fact, it used to be $500. Then they reduced it to $200, and now I think it's just $50. But you can call them, you can ask them, they'll give you the correct answer. But it's somewhere between $50 to $500, and I'm pretty sure it's $50 that you just need in the account, and that's it. I mean, again, you can withdraw that anytime you want. Everybody greedy? Yeah, I mean, I'm greedy too. I don't maybe yeah, it's just a deposit requirement, no monthly fee. And the commissions, I guess you could consider as a fee if you, of course, enter into a trade. It would be nice if TOS had a risk reward tool, but they have everything else. Yeah, I would agree with you. I guess you're talking about this tool on TradingView where it's like something like this, right? Something like that, right? So I get that. I mean, some people do prefer this, and I completely understand. But also you should make sure your trading does not rely on this. Because if you rely on this too much, you're not going to see progression in your trading. But I do understand your point on that. I wish they did have that too. Maybe I should call up Thinkorswim and say, hey, add it. Um, all right, definitely you should be afraid of fire while sleeping. Burn victims are sad. Oh no, of course, man. I'll change it to today. I'll definitely change it today. Fire is no joke. I was just joking for anybody else out there. Oh, Brad, you're gonna pick up my TOS call if I call today? Kevin, what if we call them and say we were with them since TD Ameritrade and then stopped and recently got back with TOS with Schwab? Can we? Oh yeah, of course. They'll be able to see your account history. Shadow Rose, I remember your history about this. So you should call them, and they should be able to talk with you. And if they like, you should be able to tell them like, hey, I had a history with TD Ameritrade. Reason I got off was because of the commissions. You know, what will you do to get me back? As you get to see, you could see my pure Indian side here with the negotiation tactics, right? You know, you better hustle them for a best quote. A great platform, but you got to also cover your ass, right? So yeah, they're very reasonable people, very reasonable. If they decline you, 99% of the time they have a good reason. Whether it's, hey, you don't have enough of a trading history with us, your account's too small, or we usually like to see what your risk management is, risk tolerance, right? So yeah, I was with TDA back since COVID, but I moved to our Robinhood for the last 2 years, and now I'm thinking of going back to TOS. So Thinkorswim is an all jack of all trades kind of platform. You can use it for swing trading, day trading, penny trading, scalping, long term, whatever. But if you're just doing a long term account, right? I mean, do you really need to switch from Robinhood to Thinkorswim? Maybe not. If you're just doing a dividend account, do you need to switch from Robinhood to Thinkorswim? Maybe not. Spreads? Absolutely, you should, because the fill times are atrocious on spreads for Robinhood, and they scam the hell out of you. So if you're like actively trading, then I personally believe, in my opinion, Robinhood is complete shit compared to Thinkorswim. Because for me, each cent counts. That's just me. So that's why I have very strong opinions for it. But it doesn't matter how much money I have or how little money I have. It really matters to me how much money I'm putting into a trade, how much money I'm losing, and how much money is being taken away from me. So I think no matter who you are, that should be important to you as well. Because if that's not on the top of your mind, what makes you think that you're going to be successful in trading? Or what makes you even think you're going to be successful in finance with your own personal finances? So again, if you're just doing long-term dividends, wheel strat, maybe Robinhood is great, just enough for you, right? You're not actively trading all the time, that's fine. But if you're actively trading, then platforms such as Thinkorswim is really great. Tying into the question below, is E-Trade okay? Absolutely. It's one of my, I would say, top three, top four platforms. I still rank Thinkorswim as number one. I know JP uses E-Trade. He loves it. It's a pretty great platform. I would say it's geared for more fundamental and old school traders because it has a lot more data. It has a lot more news oriented kind of stuff, which you do get on Thinkorswim as well, but E-Trade is really good. In terms of fill time, it's above average. It's not as great as Thinkorswim, but it is above average. I have used E-Trade before. And yeah, like Rob, you can get the Thinkorswim account, just put $50 in it or whatever the minimum requirement is, and just you don't even have to use it for trading. You just use it for its tools. Because again, like you would have to find different platforms for like unusual options. You would have to have like unusual whales. For charts, you would have to use TradingView. For scanners, you need to use FinViz, right? And that's fine if you want to use all those. That's absolutely fine. But you could find all of that in just one platform. Pretty cool, right? So, um, yeah. But do you guys have any other questions? Other questions at all? Appreciate you as well, Chipper. School name. You guys can ask me about anything. Doesn't have to be about TD Ameritrade or Thinkorswim. Oh, actually, it's a question to ask you guys. Once you ask your questions, go ahead. It's actually regarding the recordings. Yeah, if you guys are not a customer, feel free to call TOS tomorrow. Ask them all the questions you want. They will. Yeah, you can trade futures on Thinkorswim. You just gotta have a margin account, and you gotta have futures enabled, and you have to like. There's a certain amount of money you need, to pay to trade futures. I wish Randy was on here because he knows the exact amounts. But you could ask that question for them as well. You can trade futures. For example, I showed you, like I can bring up the chart for. I can. Oh wait, actually, I don't need to even go to this. If you go to the trade section, you see there's a futures trader. Look at this. It'll pull up all the futures. Give it a second. Give it a second. There you go. So you see, like you could trade ES, you could trade NQ, crude oil, gold, Dow Jones, whatever you want. Everything you could trade on here. You could buy one lot. Oh, here you go. It shows the margin you need for each, right? So for one Nasdaq mini, you need you need 35,000. But for example, if you didn't have 35,000, one thing I always love trading from futures is micros, right? So if we go to micros, you see here, it drops down to 3,500, right? Same thing for ES, right? There you need 25,000, but if you go to micro ES, you will see that drops down to 2,500. And what's another one? I think MGC, right? That's what it is. It's even lower at 1,980. There was one that's very cheap. I forgot what it was. Was it crude oil? It was crude oil, so 1,500. So pretty cool stuff. Oh wait, let me check. R2K, I think that's what it is. R2K. It's supposed to be the micro Russell, right? R2K. Am I dumb or am I dumb? Why is it slipping from my mind? Here's a micro Dow. It's 1,700. Is it? RT. It's for Russell's RT. What? It's RT. I thought. I don't know. It's one of those things. But yes. Oh, M2K. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. My brain farted over there. You could see M2K was the cheapest one. Thank you so much for showing me that. M2K, you only need $1,200 to just swing or trade a micro future of Russell, and Russell moves pretty nice, right? I mean, it's definitely bearish now with the tariff news, but yeah, it's great. You just had to get approved for futures, which again you could ask them on the phone how to do that process. They'll tell you which requirements you need, and you had to have a margin account. Boom, easy. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. Yes, but the margins are a bit crazy. You do need a decent amount of capital in your account to trade like the minis instead of the micros. But that's kind of there for your protection because then you won't like ever go into like a margin call or whatever the term is. Again, I'm running on like two brain cells here, so it is for your protection, but there is you need to have a big margin for that. What advice can you give to beginner traders trying to navigate to this market? Well, I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't give you any advice. I can give you my opinions, and my opinion is I think it's very, very worth your time to watch, because that is a very long answer. But in February 20, my opinion to you is this video right here is one of the most important videos you can watch, followed by this one, and then this one. And then from there you can watch whatever video you want. I personally like this one. This was one of my favorite videos. I felt like I hit a lot of people's experiences on this video, and it's only 34 minutes long. So check that video out. There's so many videos on our YouTube. It's right here. I mean, the link is in the links channel. You could check. Can you say the titles? Yeah, sure. So the most important video is the best risk management video you can watch. I only uploaded that a month ago. How to survive a bear market. You guys were here. It's a week ago that I uploaded that. And then the next most important video, I would say, is why you're not profitable when trading. I think those kind of hit the mentality thing, and then you can go on and watch all the other amazing videos that you have from JP and I and Tom on this channel. Majority of the videos are mine because I started live sessions many years ago, but then you'll see a lot of the recent ones. You'll start seeing that JP is on these videos as well. Before I get into the rest of the questions or comments, this leads into what I was going to ask you guys. As you can see here, I have a bunch of recordings I'm held up on. I've had a lot of things in my personal life which has held me up, unfortunately, which is why I've not been on live sessions. But you can see here that we have quite a few videos I can upload. I can upload them tomorrow. It just depends which ones you guys want uploaded sooner than later. We of course have the Thinkorswim video, which we're doing today, but since you guys are on here, I don't think you really need that. If you need the recording right away, you can check Twitter because it's being recorded and streamed onto there. So we have the bonds video, which is done by JP a while back. We have the call and put walls, which JP did recently. We have EMA and SMAs, which he did recently. MOO and MOC, which JP did recently, and then sector final, the sector rotation one, which I was personally going to upload that tomorrow, which JP did a while back. You also have how options move the market, which was what Tom did a while back as well. And if you guys remember the live session from, I don't think it was yesterday, but the day before, where Tom did you're doing support and resistance wrong, that video is there as well. So you guys can tell me which one you want uploaded tomorrow. Really? Just one answer? Oh. Okay. How about this? What I'll do is I'll post the call and put walls tomorrow since that's the most requested. And then on Thursday, I will post the support and resistance one. And then after that, I'll post how options move the market, which is probably going to be on Sunday or Monday. So I'll do that. So I'll work on the, which one am I posting again? Look at that, I'm losing my mind. Call and put walls. I'll edit that today and have it done by tomorrow. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what other questions you guys have. But I would say that I'm not trying to, gatekeep anything here. If I were to give any personal opinion on what I would give to beginner traders, I would say being obsessed with it in a healthy amount is probably what can do a big difference for you. And what I mean by that is, I love trading so much, and I don't love it because of money. I don't trade for money. I never did. I never ever did. I was always a competitive person. I was varsity captain for soccer when I was in high school. Um, I'm only 24 now, so how many years was that? 7 years ago. And I always liked being the best. And when I saw the trading markets and I saw how many idiots were on this, but I saw how beautiful the whole market is, I thought to myself, hey, I can become the greatest at something, which is so challenging to so many people. And if I put my time to it, and if I put my passion and I put my work to it and I put everything to it, I will come out on top. I will survive in the first beginning part of it, and eventually I'll do so well. And here I am. Till this day, I do like being profitable. But more than anything, I do like the opportunity to trade. And because of that, I've put so much time into understanding how everything works. And I'm so in love with this that till the day I take my last breath, I will never stop trading. So if you want to prosper in this, people can tell you so many things, but if you don't have the passion for it first, you're going to end up like every person before me. And when I say this, I've been trading for 12 years, but I've been on Discord for what, 7 or 8, I never know. It's one of those numbers. And there's so many traders I've known, and all of them end up trading for money, which again is not a wrong reason, but I can just tell you from experience, people trade for money, and then before you know it, they make a mistake, and that mistake leads them to make even more mistakes, and then it's just done, right? They just don't trade anymore. So, hey, looking at trading as a way to have additional income, or you know, gain quote unquote financial freedom, which I don't think should ever be the goal. I personally think, in my opinion, the first goal for trading is to first survive, and then possibly look at trading to be a supplemental income to your stable job, if you have one. And then you can look to replace whatever you want. It's completely unrealistic to look at trading and be like, I want that to replace my 9 to 5. Like, what? Bro, if you guys thought this, I don't blame you. But if you think it again, I will look at you and be like, okay, you're kind of being stupid here. Because yes, you can attain that. I'm not saying you can't. But how can you attain that if you're not even thinking about the steps beforehand? Right? It's all psychology. You can't think of the end goal without thinking about the steps between. So if you're not trading, if you're trading, this without a passion, you're not going to do really well. I'm telling you from my experience. Everybody who's not had a passion for this and just wanted it for the money, yeah, there are some outliers that do well, but majority don't. And they might have 1, 2, or 3 good years, and then the fourth and fifth really put them down a hole because they don't have the passion to learn past what they're doing. The biggest fault that traders can do is they're so confident in their strategy that they do not learn anything else, which is completely irresponsible. How could you sit there and think to yourself that you should not learn anything else because what you're doing right now is working for you? You might as well go back to the dinosaur age, because this world, this current time is not for you. Because I kid you not, the environment that you see right now is going to be different 4 years from now, and 4 years from then is going to be different from 4 years from now. So you have to learn, you have to adapt, you have to not be stubborn, you have to not have an ego, and that all boils down to if you have a passion for it or not. And I can say I have a passion for it, and that's why I've surpassed many. That's why I'm on freaking Discord. I can't even name you. I can only name you 2 people who've been on Discord, not even as long as me, but only been here on the past 4 years that I've been actively posting. Everybody else is just gone. So if you have a passion for it, I can't guarantee you his results. I'm not a crystal ball. I can say from my personal experience, when you have the passion for it, and I know some people on here. I wish Adrian was on here. That dude is a sponge. He has a passion for trading, and he's still like learning and everything, but that dude is like going out of his way. He's reading books. You guys should read books. There's so many books about trading. Talked about them beforehand. But yeah, that's a long answer to your question. Just for comparison purposes, could you say the pros and cons of E-Trade Interactive Broker again, please? Okay, so Thinkorswim is the jack of all trades. If you want superior fill times, if you want day trading, scalp trading, you want to get in and out very quickly, Thinkorswim is the way to go. Interactive brokers, much more longer term, usually. Great fills, nothing against them. E-Trade, really great platform, really great fills, above average fills, and it's more for data traders, more for fundamental traders, an amazing swing kind of platform as well. Yeah, JP, what would you say E-Trade? What kind of people suit each? What kind of people?
There's two different platforms that E-Trade offers. There's uh, E-Trade Power E-Trade, which I despise. It's very gimmicky. I don't like. It's a more modern version of trading software. It has bigger buttons, more glitz and glamour. And E-Trade Pro is what they consider to be um, their elite trader kind of software. It's very stupid, dumbed down. Um, looks exactly like a Bloomberg terminal. Text heavy, very basic system, very, very low latency. Um, they E-Trade Pro is specifically designed for people that are traders. It's not designed for anybody that's looking for any gimmicks. So if you're able to utilize that kind of software where you don't need things to look pretty and you just need the most basic of tools, it's incredible. Then when you go into the actual breakdown of everything it can do, um, that's when it gets very, very interesting. Like, for example, I can create multiple different columns inside of my watch list that give me positive, negative, gamma, 52 week highs and lows, short interest by day, short interest by week. It's just very, very, very advanced. It's the closest thing that I've ever traded on that resembles a Bloomberg terminal, and I've traded on a terminal. So that's why I like it. But again, I started trading on it when I was 21 and I'm 42. So big difference. The software has not changed. It looks exactly the same. There's been no updates on it. And actually, E-Trade Pro is doing everything in their power to try to transition their elite traders out of that software and into Power E-Trade because they're just trying to get them off of that antiquated system. But they can't get rid of it because there's so many. There's hundreds of thousands of people on it. I've never changed to anything else. I personally find TOS to be a great platform, but it looks like a more sophisticated version of E-Trade, Power E-Trade, and I just don't like that particular, you know, that look. I need it to be very like monochrome, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get you, man. Each platform suits each different person for their different needs. Suits
Yeah.
E-Trade suits JP perfectly with the way he trades.
Yeah, and like for me, like I don't have the ability. If I wanted to, I'm sure I can build out the charts similar to TradingView. But for example, like I need the TradingView charts, and then I use my E-Trade Pro for all the other information, like news and data, level twos, time and sales, option chains, everything. It's just I wish their charting was better, and I wish that their charting was integrated in a way where TradingView could connect with eTrade Pro. I wish that eTrade Pro charts were like like TradingView, and if they were, I would not be paying money for TradingView.
Yeah, I guess what you mean. Um, yeah, I even if Thinkorswim had API integration with TradingView, I don't know if I'd want to use it because I just feel I would just be thinking if this thing is gonna lag or disconnect at any time. I just would be going bonkers about thinking about that. Um, yeah. Where can we watch this video on our YouTube channel? I just tagged you with the link. I know you've been asked this before and you're a busy man, but is there an ETA on the price action videos? To be completely honest, no. I did want to do it a few months from now. I mean, how can I bring you price action? Yeah, there's good price action now, but the cleanest price action comes in a bull market, and we're no longer in a bull market. Am I saying we're gonna wait till the bull market again? Absolutely not. I'm not saying that, but I also don't have the time because that kind of lesson I'll be teaching you literally stuff I teach on one-on-ones. So it takes a lot of time to write up all of that. I mean, you guys have seen my lessons. I don't put just like 5 minutes into it. Each lesson I draw up takes 2 to 3 hours of writing, and then 2 hours of like research and stuff like that. Even if I know the subject, I still research about it. So I don't have an ETA, man. I'm sorry. And yes, I did play soccer in high school. I was left fullback. Yeah. Have to go get some practice. Yeah, no, appreciate you. Thanks for what you share. Well, I mean, live sessions wouldn't be here if I didn't have the passion for talking about it. As you can clearly say, I'm exhausted, but I can't help talking about trading. So even my wife is like, man, your mind's always on trading. I'm like, no, it's not. I try to convince her it's not, but I'll do a good job at it. Yeah, Buffett is still reading every day. Better believe it. Of course, that guy is. Look, Buffett is not the example of a talented a trader. He's the definition of hard work, compound interest, and an intelligent investor. That guy has beaten everybody, every single buddy, and what he did was not complicated. So use him as a. Who's the other guy? Jeffrey Simmons, Jeff Matthew Simmons. JP, you know who I'm talking about? The math guy.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Fudge. Jim Simmons. Thank you. Jim Simmons. He's a good guy. Yeah.
Well, he died.
Yeah. Oh, he did?
Yeah, James Simon.
James Simons. Who's James Simon?
It's Jim. James is short. Jim is short for James.
Oh, he died. He died last year.
Don't forget. Don't you remember that Isaac's grandfather worked with him? He was his bond guy.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Isaac's grandfather was the guy that ran James Simon's bond department.
Is there a good way to anticipate gap up or gap downs?
What?
If the daily chart has a nice daily candle and it has enough volume, you can anticipate, especially if it's breaking out or breaking down from a critical channel or level, you can anticipate a gap up or gap down. Sometimes you're not always going to get the gap up. You're going to get a break even open, but yeah, you just look at the daily candle, you kind of figure out, okay, is this at a crucial place? For example, one thing I'm very upset about was UL. I missed out on this today. This was a good swing setup, and for example, UL has a good chance of gapping up tomorrow, and it was on my watch list. You could see here if I go to my swings tab. Look at that, it was one of my finalists here. Has a good chance of gapping up because statistically, most of the movement in the stock market happens in night hours, not during day hours. So on average, we always have gap ups and gap downs. Yeah. Are there going to be days where you're going to be opening up at break even? Yeah. But majority of times you are going to have gaps because overnight trading is where majority of the movement happens. For many reasons, but I'm not going to dive too deep into that. And yes, that is JP at 30 years old. So imagine how he looks at 42.
What?
Nothing. The daily is what I use for swings. and 30 minute. 30 minutes more for entry for swings. 2 hours great for swings as well. For day trading, I get the sentiment from the daily and I move that down and I take my entry on the 5 minute. But I love using 30 minute as a sentiment gauge. You can even use that as an entry point. So 30 minute is basically a sweet spot for me. I feel like you can use that for any kind of trading strategy, minus scalping. Um, yeah. Yep. Yeah, look at this. For an annual subscription of TradingView, the minimum is $155, and that's just the quote unquote essential plan. Like, what do you get in this? 2 charts, 5 indicators, no ads. Wow, whoop-de-doo. Bar replay. Well, that should be a given. You would have to go all the way. If you're a person who likes looking at multiple charts, you would have to go all the way to $50 per month, which is $600 per year to get 8 charts per tab. That's ridiculous, man. That's just ridiculous. I get that TradingView is a good platform and it updates, but then when you saw what I showed you on Thinkorswim, it just makes you kind of double think about it. It frustrates me that I have paid for the premium one last year. Yeah. Anyway, is there Forex on TOS? Yeah, there should be. Yeah, there is. Right here. You could trade Forex. I think I could take a trade on it right now too. XAU USD? I don't know. Let me see. XAU USD. If you're talking about gold, that's not really Forex, isn't it? That's just futures. So you go to GC. Which is basically XAU USD. I believe. I'm not sure. I would presume you're thinking about this. And look at gold. Look how bullish that is. The chart is different. Oh, then I'm not sure, man. That I don't know the answer to. Sorry. All right. Any other questions? Yeah. Don't worry, dude. Sorry, I don't know the exact answer. Like I don't know what to search up here. Yeah, I don't know what Bitgold is. GBP USD.
Why are people trading the British pound versus the dollar? Why? What's the point? Why?
Yeah, you can trade it. Javi replied saying because it pays a lot. All right, guys. It was a pleasure talking to you. I'm personally gonna head off. I'm gonna go eat some dinner, and I had to go edit that video, so there's that. But thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure. Thank you, JP, for being on as well. Are you gonna stay on after this or no?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys.
Whatever happened to Ty Lopez?
Who's that? That a Hispanic guy?
Remember the guy that would be shilling books from his
Oh,
garage?
knowledge.
He'd be like,
The knowledge guy.
he's like,
The
this
knowledge
is
guy.
my Ferrari,
Oh yeah.
and I got it from reading all these books. That guy?
Yeah, the knowledge guy.
Is that what it is? Knowledge?
Yeah, he's one of his videos open up with saying knowledge.
Guy with glasses? Hispanic guy?
Yeah,
Whatever happened to Ty Lopez?
I don't know. Probably ran over a book with his Lamborghini and got upset and just decided to stop.
I'm really curious whatever happened to those guys.
Oh, Market Mechanic, you saw Too Big to Fall yesterday or fail? Yeah, I love that movie. You should watch
So
Margin
the
Call
first
tonight.
time you saw it?
Yeah, dude. Did you see the post I put out yesterday where I said that everyone
Oh
should?
yeah, yeah. I've seen
Yeah,
all those movies, bro, on
I,
repeat.
yeah, I love Margin Call the most, and I love Too Big
Margin
to
Call's
Fail.
great because that's literally how it works.
Yeah, the scene I loved was the trading scene from the market open to market close.
All right.
Yeah,
Did you see my post on Twitter about the Posh market on Bloomberg?
the one with the watches. Yeah, that was funny.
Did I ever tell you that story before I let you go?
No, what's that?
So I was living in Amsterdam.